You too. Well, welcome everyone to College Council. My name is Ricky Shabazz. I have the honor and privilege of being the president of San Diego City College. College Council is our highest level of governance at San Diego City College, where we talk about matters that are important to our students, our college, our community. College Council is comprised of leaders from various constituency groups on campus. If you would like to bring a matter forward to College Council, you can do so one of a couple of different ways, either by reaching out to my office and or reaching out to one of the leaders of the constituency groups. Before I introduce the leaders of College Council, I want to read our land acknowledgement. San Diego City College acknowledges that our campus sits on the traditional land of the Kumeyaay Nation. We recognize the Kumeyaay people, past and present, and their land with honor and gratitude. Speaking of honor and gratitude, I am honored to serve alongside some amazing leaders here at San Diego City College. And so I'll begin with the roll call of our members of the constituency groups, beginning with our academic senate president, Mona. Nick is our president-elect. Tilly, Dr. Tilly Chavez is our vice president of instruction.
Present.
Now I'm only doing that because she just got her doctorate. There's other doctors in the room. Robbie is the Dean of Information and Learning Technology.
Present.
Caesar is the Public Information Officer. Daniel is the Supervisory Rep. Present. I'm going to say Sean Bacon because we have two Seans, is the President of Chairs Cabinet.
President, and I'm also the proxy for Nick today.
Okay, great. Dual roles.
Yeah, sure.
Susan is the Dean of Institutional Effectiveness and the co-chair of City Planning.
Present.
Okay, sorry about that. Andy is the Administrative Rep.
Present.
Selena is the reason why we are all here, our president of the Associated Student Government. John is a short timer, and he's the vice president of administrative services. Marciano is the vice president of students.
I was gonna say I was sad because John's leaving, but maybe not now.
Sean Ryan is the president of the Classified Senate.
I'm present.
Marco is the coordinator of Professional Learning Council.
Right.
Itza is the ideas rep.
Present.
And these are the members of College Council. You can work with any of them if you would like to bring a matter forward for discussion about the college's operations and or support of our students. I would like to first take a vote for approval of the February 10th meeting minutes. Is there someone who would, some brave soul would like to approve the meeting minutes?
Ricky, this is Robert.
So I see Mona with the first, I see Robbie with the second. Any further discussion? All in support or approval indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone want to abstain or object? Hearing that motion carries, I'm going to go off the agenda for a moment. Well, actually, I'm going to stay with the agenda, but out of rotation, and welcome the members who were selected to be in our, I don't know if it's either 3rd or 4th annual job shadowing program.
More than 3.
And want to acknowledge that Marco does a great job of putting this together. This is an opportunity for employees of the college to shadow the exact team, learn more about the operations side of the college, also get some help in resumes in their own career pathways. And so I'm going to ask the folks who are going through the job shadowing to introduce themselves to College Council. And I was going to decide between my BFF, Alyssa over there, or Jessica, and I think I'm going to go Jessica first.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Wong. I'm the librarian upstairs. Nice to meet y'all.
Then we'll go this way. You were next.
I'm Sydney Kramer, and I am
adjunct faculty at cosmetology.
And just continue around.
Hi, everyone. Magali Corpores, financial resident, and I'm the document research and coordinator.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mireya Gutierrez Agüero, and I'm the EOPS Parent Executive Director.
Hello, everyone. Liz Vargas, the director for Tree Upper Bound.
Last but not least.
Definitely not least. Lisa Antonio, admissions and records supervisor.
Yeah, so these are our spring job shadowing candidates. They are going to be going through a series of workshops and meetings this spring semester. And one of them is for them to attend College Council, learn more about how College Council works. So welcome all of you. Want to also turn the floor now over to one of our amazing coordinators on campus, our job developer to be more specific. And Roger is going to talk about a mentor program that he and others put together. Roger.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, thank you for having me. I wanted to share the opportunity that we're having for the student job shadow program, and I do have some flyers I put on your desk, but I will send some to Tia to disseminate to you. The program is designed to connect students with campus professionals so that they can explore careers in higher education, build professional skills, and better understand how our campus operates. Students don't always have access to professional networks, so this gives them a chance to learn directly from us. We're currently looking for faculty, staff, or anyone willing to serve as mentors. The QR code and the team URL are on the flyers. Where you can either, if you know somebody that would be an amazing mentor to a student, I would recommend letting them know to apply. And the dates that we would need you are on the flyer. The commitment is very manageable. Students will participate in a few structured sessions, and mentors will provide basic guidance, share insight into their roles, and allow students to observe aspects of their work. It's really about exposure and connection. This is important because it helps students build confidence and professional skills, see themselves in careers that they may not have considered, strengthen their connection to college, and ultimately support retention and career readiness. It's also a great opportunity for us as a campus to intentionally support our students and invest in their success beyond the classroom. I'll be sharing materials again with Tia and can forward out anything that you may need or any questions. Feel free to connect with me.
Thank you, Roger. And this is very near and dear to my heart. All of us are already mentoring students. But every semester, I get students who come to me and specifically ask me to mentor them, or how do I get a mentor? And so this is a pilot program that we're trying to kick off. More importantly, for those students who may not have agency to do this on their own, so that we have more of a formal process where a student can apply and get to spend some time with us. I know when I was a student that I didn't know this was a job. I was at college, but I didn't know how to get a job at college. And very fortunate. I got to work in the admissions office, and that set me on this path to where I am right now, having worked as a student worker in the admissions office. So if you are so inclined to be interested in helping a student get guided on their career pathways, this is the student version of what our colleagues who we just introduced are going through. And this is a long time coming because a lot of people are already doing this on their own, but we're looking to try to formalize this so that students know that they can apply and know that they will be paired with a mentor. And I want to thank a number of people who put this together in short order. And so thank you all. If you are so inclined to do so, please reach out to Roger or scan the QR code so that we can get as many mentors as possible. Any questions about this?
So Roger, looking at your flyer, it looks beautiful, thank you. If I'm interested on this, I'm looking, and you said everything's on here for these workshops and information, so it's basically a minimum of 5 hours that I'm spending with students, right? Minimum.
Yes.
I can do more than that.
You can do more, yes.
So I just kind of highlight that only 5 hours help a student out. That's all it really takes. I mean, 10 hours in your whole semester changed their lives.
And I want to
You gotta
say
get that on video. I know, a great commercial.
But something I do want to share is when I was a work study student, I did have the dean of student services mentor me. And when I decided to do career change and wanted to work higher ed, I reached out to her. And it was because of her mentorship that allowed me to be where I am today. So it does, that alone, that mentorship I had when I was a student really changed my life into the person I am today and the career that I was able to find in higher education. So it is important to students, whether they're looking to hire it or they're not. It does create those skills and gives them the confidence to be successful. So I get emotional because that really did change my life. As a first-gen student, farm worker, from Bakersfield, being here is life-changing. So keep that.
Any questions? Please share the information with your colleagues. We're trying to get the information out. There's been a series of emails that have gone out about this. And we'd like to see a response greater than we've seen thus far. And I agree completely with both Roger and Tilly that this is an opportunity to change a student's life. Many of the students are looking for an opportunity for a resume, for a letter of recommendation. I know many of us already write them, but trying to do so in a formal way. Yes.
I was wondering, I think I might have seen a deadline for the streets to apply. Is there a date yet, or?
So yeah, so it's on, so we're having an info session on the 25th, but it's March 6th. Sorry, I don't have my email.
March 8th.
March 8th. Okay, so thank you.
So there's a corresponding student flyer. Maybe you can share the Tia with the student flyer, and we can send the student flyer with to the group as well. So there's a corresponding student flyer for those who want to be mentees. This is the mentor flyer. And oh,
There's one we-
okay.
You got others. And then I'll share the electronic copy as well with Tia. And on there, we're gonna have workshops for students. Will help them, improve their elevator pitch, but also getting them started on building a strong resume as well.
Any other questions? Thank you, Roger. Appreciate it. Want to also share some good news and thank everyone working on the STEM project, every faculty member who took a student off of the wait list, everyone in admission records, financial aid, every office on campus. If I start calling out names, somebody's going to say I forgot. Everyone. It takes an entire village to reach 98% of our goal. Now, Tilly tells me we're actually at 100. And so just want to say kudos to everyone involved in ensuring that we meet our enrollment targets, and Sean Bacon leading efforts around the SIM project and others as we continue to make efforts around how do we allocate sections so that we meet student needs, student demands. And yes, that does mean we will enroll low courses, but that also means we need to get people off the wait list for those courses that have high student demands. And so continue to make great strides. Anything, Tilly, you want to say about enrollment?
I think you did it pretty well. Thank you, it's everyone. And I really love our new process that we're working on. Sean's been leading a good portion of that with Andy and with Lynn and Eric Betty and others. Paul, just everybody. And I like the process. The process has been that people applying for additional FTF, they have which classes they want to run, when they want to run them. And then they have the instructors ready to roll. We have the class ready. And we look to see which are the ones we can say yes to. And really what's happened is they've been filling like quickly, right? Faster than most classes would have been. As soon as we open them, people are already out there on the wait list, they get put right in. I'm not sure about the fraudulent, we have to check on that piece of it, but it's been a great system. And it's a change of shift and change of culture at this campus on how we do that. And I think that's huge, and you should give yourself a round of applause.
Yeah, shout out to Clarissa too. She did
Yes,
a ton of
Clarissa.
work on this project as well, and we were excited.
She's listening too. You probably
Good, Clarissa, good job. But 48 hours after we launched some of those courses, they were completely full with 40 students. It's kind
Yeah,
of
that's great.
unbelievable. Hopefully they're all real, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and Clarissa, we see you. In fact, I'll share with the group. I went to Clarissa's office last week and she wasn't there because she's doing outreach stuff typically in the field. So I left her a little note on her computer that said Ricky was here. And then she came this week and I wasn't in my office, so she left me a note that says Clarissa was here. So Clarissa, I'm going to catch up with you sooner or later. But Clarissa and the team, Marciano and others went to a first year experience conference up in Seattle, Washington. Anything you want to share about that, Marciano?
No, just really excited. So Sean was also a part of that. We had a team of 10 folks that participated. We had some instructional faculty, some counseling faculty. We have folks in outreach, we have folks in promise. And what we're trying to do is figure out how we can look at the first year experience program and bring it back to city, but not in the way that folks have thought about it in the past, right? So we're not looking at it establishing an office that is going to be FYE, but how do we embed kind of the FYE best practices into already the things that we're doing. So our learning communities, our like working with student athletes, working with things like an undocumented resource center. So really, how do we kind of create the FYE culture and embed it in the work that we're already doing? And it was as it typically is, you go to these conferences and you think you're going to learn a ton of things, and what you end up finding out is that a lot of the things that they're touting as kind of best practices are already things that we're already doing. We just don't talk about them in the same way. And then also realizing that we probably should be out there presenting on some of this stuff, because we went to some sessions that we were like, we could have absolutely killed this presentation. But excited about the work that the information that we got, and I think Clarissa has wrangled us all in for our next steps. So we're going to follow our leader and her next steps.
Any questions about enrollment? Yes.
So kind of related, and I think you mentioned this last time we were talking about enrollment, and this might be a longer conversation, so you can push it, but can you explain when, let's say we get a lot of students, but the demand is high, but it goes above and beyond the FTEs that were allocated. What are the implications of that?
Yeah, so I love that question, Marco, and really that is the work that the SIM project is doing in a very general way. The governor comes out with a preliminary budget in January that sets a revenue amount for FTE as full-time equivalent students for all community colleges. Since we're in a multi-college district, that comes through the district, and the district allocates those FTE as based on a formula on prior year enrollment. Long story short, the quick answer to your question is we have a target, and anything over the target, we don't receive revenue or for. The more complicated thing, though, when you look at this, is when we don't hit our target and our other colleges in our district do, or they exceed it, then there's a likelihood that that enrollment that we did not hit will be shifted to them. So our focus right now is keeping the enrollment at city, because you can see we are doing an amazing job, right? 90% is an A, 98% is an A plus as far as I'm concerned, but we have Mesa and Miramar at over 100%, right? So we want to keep that enrollment at city. The last 2 years, the district had unfunded enrollment. Last year, I think over 300. The state, what the state will do, which is called a recalculation. So all that enrollment for the state, there are some colleges that don't hit their target, meaning they have declining enrollment. So let's say your college has declining enrollment. Maybe you're 1,000, 2,000 FTEs under. They'll do a recalculation, and those colleges that went over will get funding 6 months to a year and a half. So when you look at our district budget, we absolutely benefited. I think we received about 80 or 90% of the 300. We didn't receive the funding for the whole 300. No, not at all. I believe it was somewhere, don't quote me on the percentage, but it was a risk that we took that paid off for us. Right now, there's one other part of this that I feel obligated to say, and that it can be somewhat volatile in the state of California in the way that community colleges are funded compared to UCs or CSUs or K-12, because we see this inverse effect that when the economy is good and revenue is flowing into the state, people go to work and they don't come to community colleges. However, when people start to lose their jobs or there's a contraction in the economy, which means there's less revenue for community colleges, guess what happens? All these people start to come. And that's when you start to see colleges start to carry unfunded enrollment. So generally speaking, From a revenue strictly financial standpoint, carrying unfunded FTES is not typically a good thing. Now, it absolutely can be a good thing if you're offering courses that students need in order to transfer. And I can go deeper, but that's about
No,
it.
that's, yeah.
Any other questions? Hearing none, those things were somewhat off of the agenda. Anytime we have good news and 98% of the target. Which, you know, in Matthew, and Nick's not here, but if Nick was here, in Matthew you round up, right? Round up.
This is A++.
Yes, yes, plus. Yes, thank you, Andy. Next, I'll turn it over to John Parker for an update on lactation pods and water filling station.
Yes, thank you. So the pods, number 3 is a lactation pod that we are looking at here for the LRC. And I don't know if we'll bring that image up, but we have a copy of what Miramar has for a lactation pod. I haven't actually visited it. Have pictures of what Miramar has been.
I saw it the other day when we were for the town hall. It's
Okay.
right under like the stairs there. Went to try to get in, Mona. I had to have some kind of passcode or something, so I wasn't able to. get in. I've been trying.
I do have a time scheduled with me in the library to see it during our next, if we have a board meeting there, not this, what's the next one? So we have it on the calendar.
Gonna take some pictures.
Yes.
Good,
yes.
and so we're looking for a place here in the LRC. In addition, we're looking at a new lactation space. We have 3 across campus already. And we're looking at 3 more, so there'll be a pod here.
How does somebody find out where those are?
On our website, if you just type in lactation, it'll take you to the 3 locations that we currently use, and they're outfitted with nice chairs, Bose speaker for ambient noise music, refrigerator, there's running water and snacks in there, so it's a nice comfortable area. We're wanting to add 2 more. One in the BT, we've identified BT 107, which is on the first floor of the BT building. It's on that west side in the hallway there. The side we put it at. We're also looking at AH building also to have 2 on that side of the campus. And I know we talked about previously looking at what we can do with the Q space and seeing if that's a viable option. Say again.
I think we should hold it.
Oh, and we can definitely explore that. So while we're doing this, we can include that in that scope to the cafeterias, Marcia was saying. Also, so we'll be receiving deferred funding or deferred maintenance funding from the state, and these are our priorities to add the lactation spaces, additional lactation spaces, and also water bottle filling stations. You may recall several years ago, we added water bottle filling station. It's a funding issue. This will be a priority with our deferred maintenance funds to conduct a facility use assessment to see if it's feasible. The intention is to add 1 on each floor in every building. That is the intention. It may or may not be feasible, but we can add a lot more than what we have now. That's definitely the intention, and will be the priority with deferred maintenance funds that we will receive in the next fiscal year starting July. But we're starting that assessment now. We're identifying these locations, and we're getting the SI's input, and the ball is rolling. We're not waiting till the beginning. Any questions? Yes, I see Mona.
I shared this information in National Senate yesterday, and someone asked if there would be an opportunity to provide input for the deferred maintenance funds. So like if the survey will be sent out to students and faculty, just to get ideas of maybe other, like some blind spots on the campus that might need attention, and to kind of broaden the scope of what we're doing in different.
Certainly, we can have the facility planning committee lead that effort. Absolutely, to answer your question.
But I want to be clear that there already is a running list that is run through that committee. 2, the more we open it up, the less likely the water stations and the pods are going to be able to be accomplished. Now, understand that there's already a running list for deferred, maintenance, and a lot of that is based on, the years in which said device, a hood over in the science building, air conditioning somewhere. So some of these things, and I was trying to find the words that I just figured out with it. Some of these things are on a life cycle already, and they have to be replaced at a certain lifespan. What we're saying is that the governor has proposed an additional $100 million of revenue in the next academic year, fiscal year that starts July 1. If we just do some anticipated math, we can anticipate that we'll get a little more revenue, right? The more we open that up, what'll happen is we'll come up with a second list. We'll say maybe we've got an extra 100,000, 150,000, and then we'll have to decide. Now, my understanding through conversations is that the priority was lactation and water stations. If those two are not the priority, certainly we can open it up to the question, to the campus, but what you're gonna find is that just me doing some rough math, I think we probably can get 2 additional projects out of this, because it's not a lot of additional money.
Yeah, there's more deferred maintenance than there are funds, so we'll continue to defer. Yeah.
I had a question about the water stations, filling stations. So Mona and I had this conversation as well. There are drinking fountains all over this campus. And since post-COVID, it's really, I mean, I don't know how many people really want to drink out of a drinking fountain. I'll just put that out there as the nurse. But does that mean does that mean we're committing to every drinking fountain converted to a filling station? Or just certain filling stations?
That was the initial request, and we ran out of funds. I think right now is to add as many as we can. To look at every filling station, it may be cost prohibitive. I just want to say that to add.
So would it be great for us to maybe prioritize so many per building? I mean, because I think that's what we talked about.
Yeah, and so let me interject. What John said a couple things. One, we need to bring somebody in to do an assessment, right? And that's where it will ultimately work through John's committee, Health and Safety Committee, and ultimately come through College Council. The second thing is, and just want to qualify what John was saying, these resources are not going to be enough to put one on every floor, right? And so what we can do once we get the assessment, we can bring it here and we'll take recommendations on where do we want to start, right? Because what we need immediately and what John has initiated is to get a company to come in and provide an assessment on where we can put these things that are not cost prohibitive. From there, we'll probably then know how much additional money we have. And I'm thinking at best, it's going to be about $200,000, right? In a college environment, folks, $200,000 doesn't go very far, right? So from there, we'll come and ask the constituency groups, here's what we would like to do. Here's how much money we have. You know, maybe there is a desire to have 20 and we have funding for 3. Which 3 do you want to rank? I'm just using that as an example.
Cell phone is face too.
Yes.
Not good at any money.
No.
Crossing fingers, it's more than 3.
Yes, yes.
We all are. And I'm crossing fingers that it's more than an extra $200,000, but just doing rough math on 116 community colleges divided by $100 million. Right, we may see an extra million, right? But again, that million first is gonna have to go to the things that have a life cycle that need to be addressed. From there, from that million, I'm thinking that there will be somewhere around 200,000 that can be dedicated specifically to the pods and the water stations. But I'm not opposed to putting out a survey, but know that if we do that, then everybody's gonna put in their wish list, then everybody's gonna get $5,000 or $6,000 and we won't even get 3 at that.
And I would also thank you for that input. That is also on our website. If you could Google our filling station, it has a location. I just looked up on our website, the lactation rooms are an M200, A180, and S311N.
And someone, with the job shadow folks, one of the questions that they've already raised is like, how do you make decisions about the college's finances? And one of the things that I said is some of this comes by way of discussions, trying to listen to the sentiments of folks. These water stations have come up a number of times, both from students and employees at the college. And so when you have new revenue coming in that is unanticipated, it's easier to chip away at something new if you have new revenue versus this already existing list of deferred maintenance. Now, in any situation, the thing that's going to, or the things that are going to take priority are always going to be health and safety. We're going to always have to take care of health and safety matters first. And so that's why you're not going to allocate the whole million, because something's going to break, something's going to come up. And so you always want to leave yourself a cushion. But there's already a process to request deferred maintenance through the Health and Safety Committee. So there's already a process in place. Other questions? Thank you, John. Moving along, number 4 is I am happy to share that for the second time, hopefully to be actually funded this time, we put forth for congressional spending. Each congressperson can put forth funding requests to the federal government. We put forth the funding for over $1 million for a cybersecurity lab for our students. It was approved last cycle and never received funding with the way the government works. I won't bore you with that process. We resubmitted the same proposal, tweaked it a little bit. I want to acknowledge Jesse and David and all the faculty over in BICET who did this effort. And when the Congress signed the budget bill 2 weeks ago, we were told that the money for this lab was in the budget. And so we expect that these funds will arrive on site somewhere between 4 and 6 months. The congressional spending has to be on facility related things, building things. So we're building a lab for the students who are in our cybersecurity program. And on March the 9th, we will be doing what I like to call affectionately the Happy Gilmore check presentation, where our local congressman will be coming on campus. He's actually going to get a haircut at the barbershop. We're going to tour the campus, and we're going to wind up, Selena, we're hoping you would join us along with a cyber security student to receive a ceremonial check for over $1 million to build a cybersecurity classroom.
Can't catch.
No, but that money will likely come in our budget for Jesse and David and the faculty in that area to be able to buy additional computers and build out a cybersecurity lab by July, August of the year. So we invite you all to join us. There'll be a flyer when Caesar has more details. Any questions?
I just want to add, Ricky, that this is not something that just occurred 6 months ago or something.
No.
We've been on this.
2 years in the making.
I was gonna say 2 years in the making. So I think it's important for people to think about that when they apply and they're looking and asking, but it may take 2 years.
Yeah, and let's talk about the process, because somebody's going to ask, well, what's the process? This is a relatively quick turnaround, so you always have to have something canned, right? So what'll happen is myself, the chancellor, Jack Beresford with the district, we meet with our federally elected officials. And every year around this time, they'll ask, is there something that you want funded that is not a program, right? It has to be facility related. Then it's got to fit in the scope of Congress. Now we know Congress is not exactly on the same page, right? So it's got to be something that both the Republicans will find and the Democrats will find. And sometimes we get told, no, like we don't think that will pass through Congress. So this was something that was bipartisan approval. We know that cybersecurity, even just dealing with the bot students on our campus, that's cybersecurity related, is a hot topic in the country. So we put forth that. I'll tell you the thing that I'm working on, putting forth for next year is a parent center. We are working on a parent center with the expansion of the A building patio. We had a conversations with Sarah Jacobs, one of our locally elected federal Congress members. And we're trying to build out a parent center that may also provide childcare in the evening. And so we're trying to get all 4 colleges to agree that that's something we want to do, and hopefully can go out and get maybe $1 million per campus to do something like that. So that's an example of a congressional. So we're always trying to identify opportunities for resources to bring into the college. Any questions about that? So David and cybersecurity folks, don't spend the money yet because it's not here, but we'll have a ceremony to acknowledge the awarding of those funds. I'm going to turn it over to Tilly for item number 5 and an update on the review of the faculty hiring prioritization list.
Okay, so in your packets, I think right behind the minutes from the last meeting, you'll find the faculty hiring prioritization that was highlighted. And then you'll find behind that is the memo that I will be officially sending to Ricky, requesting to fill these positions. So we have 5 positions, basically the memo and the list say the same thing. I'm just going to use the list because it's color coded. So this is the list that I received from, I'm going to say Academic Senate. That's where it should be coming from in the future. And so this is the current year's list, and it's good until June of 26 this year, June 30th. And currently we have 5 positions that are people retired, left, whatever it might have been, that I have vacant positions. So I'm proposing that the ones in green get moved forward. Number 3, the design, Sean Bacon, his group looked at it and they declined because they just hired somebody within the last year and really want to onboard that person well before they bring on another one, which pushes down to cosmetology, as you can see on the list above. So I'm asking the departments to please start forwarding their paperwork. I've already started to receive some so that they can get these individuals hired for fall semester. Now, there did come a question about swapping positions. We had this conversation yesterday in instructional cabinet, and my understanding is that if the administration decided to veer off this list, we go back and have a conversation to talk about that. There is nothing on there yet that talks about if the faculty want to veer off the list. So I just kind of pushed that back. And I said, right now I'm going to leave it green. The position that is in question, I think, is the electricity position at the moment. But I personally said I want to keep it green, offer it, and that's not my purview area. So if that they take that to Academic Senate and have a discussion and come back, that'll be something that Ricky and I can deal with back. So I'm just gonna open it up if there's any questions.
Yeah, it does get tricky when people start trading and departments start trading, because then why have a list? And that also impacts number 7 on the list, that we wouldn't get to them. The college, I hate to use the word administration, right? The exec team at the college is not involved with the development of this list. The other thing I would like to explain, because people will say, well, where's the list for managers and where's the list for classified? There is a list for faculty because of the 50% law. There's also a list for faculty because these are replacements. These are not expansions, right? So that means someone has retired and there's a need to fill a vacancy, and the faculty have their own process that they govern and lead to determine how they're going to hire faculty, and it comes as a recommendation to the Academic Senate, who then turns as a recommendation to College Council and ultimately to the president. There are times when I go off of this list, but I try to honor this list to the best of my ability. I've been having conversations with the faculty since I arrived in the summer of 2017 about how do we take into account when you need to replace someone who retires, because some of our programs only have one full-time faculty member. If that person retires, then that means that program no longer has a full-time faculty member. And all of the available research indicates that student success, while we support our adjuncts, but that student success improves dramatically when there's a full-time faculty member, particularly in a program. And you see this a lot with our career education programs, that they may only have one full-time faculty member. That's not a knock on our adjuncts. We could not do what we do without our adjuncts. Question, comment?
I did want to also add, this is in addition to several positions that are in recruitment right now as well. So there is about 5 positions out there that are in recruitment that are actually interviewing, et cetera. So when you see in the fall, when you go to convocation, there's going to be a larger list of hopefully faculty, not just 5. They're going to say, where did those 10 come from? They were already percolating.
Yeah, it takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months to hire someone. And so, as Tilly indicated, I want to reiterate, particularly for those who are on this list, please get your paperwork in now, because every day that you don't get your paperwork in means we're 6 months away, and we would really like to have these people here by August in convocation. So please, electricity, chemistry, another IT, exercise science, cosmetology, please launch these recruitments as quickly as possible. Any other questions? Hiring is the most important thing. Yes, sorry.
And I just have a comment. You talked about the need for replacement being one reason that we have this list. I just wanted to give you all a preview, because next College Council will be presenting our new FHP process, which includes a almost auto replacement. So if the department or the program can demonstrate needs, then they will get a replacement rather than go back into the pool. So that will reduce the number of positions on this list, hopefully in the future, and the need to go to the list for.
Great, look forward to seeing that. Hiring is the most important thing I do as a college president. It's also very exciting to be able to meet candidates and provide new faculty here at San Diego City College. Moving along on the agenda is just a reminder. Want to congratulate again Claudia, who has taken on the acting role over in the sciences, which creates a vacancy in the Dean of Ideas. Our seat funding, which funds the Dean of Ideas, has had a $400,000 reduction in revenue. And we are exploring not hiring the Dean of Ideas, saying that everyone at our college does equity, diversity, and inclusion work, and that there are programs who really are in a dire need and could use the revenue that was lost with this $400,000 that is currently going to pay the dean to support things. And I've been asked to not say what those things are, because we need to go through a process to potentially reallocate those funds. But what I would like to say is that those funds would go directly to people who impact students. And that's not to say that the dean doesn't. That's to say that when you lose $400,000 on a social justice campus, and there are social justice folks on the front lines that are providing tutoring and mental health, and I'm saying stuff, let me stop. That we would want to give those funds to the programs and the people who are doing the social justice, doing the equity work, world cultures, and I'm naming things again. Let me stop. Those are the folks who are losing revenue connected to this. Any questions about this? I'm meeting with the library to talk about the impacts of this. Matter of fact, I had a meeting with Daniel, Leanne, and Marco just yesterday. We're going to strategize about how to have the less impact of this on those programs that would have reported to the Dean of Ideas. Tilly and I are both going to share in some of those duties. Don't worry, when I was the vice president 9 years ago, the library used to report to me. It was one of the things that used to report to me. There are already things that I'm underway with the library, including this PLC that I was working on as the president, directly with the folks in these locations. So I assure you that these folks are in good hands between Tilly or myself. Yo soy still, would you?
Yeah, so I just want to just make sure that, under right now, the Dean of Ideas, Claudia, she'll keep Yo Soy STEM with her. It makes sense. The grant completes in September.
And it's a science-based effort as well. So I want to congratulate and thank Claudia for her efforts there. Any questions about this? Yes.
Yes, I know I brought it up last time, but I just kind of want to reiterate. I know that equity is on everybody's, desk, as is enrollment management. But with enrollment management, you need administrators to lead that. And this, again, I will say from the management collective that this position was fought for a long time, and to lead the equity efforts on this campus. And I hope that this is a very short time that this is done. I understand that the money could be used for other programs and things like that. I also think that, not me, but I've had the discussion with managers that faculty and classified folks within the library need a dean. They need somebody to lead them and have somebody to go to. You're two of the busiest people on campus. So I hope that this is a short time. But I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, no, thank you for your advocacy. And I presented to the group without going into details. And I agree that the library requires a manager as the chair has requested.
And the professional development.
Yes, yes. And so we are in discussions, Andy, and we presented an option. We're all about options. We don't take something away without presenting options. So I believe that this will work itself out. And I want to say that I hear Leanne when she said that. I haven't heard Marco say that, but I'll say I hear Marco when he says that. And certainly, Andy, I hear you representing our managers very effectively and strongly in that area. So we're working on some things, and I believe this will work out. And I believe if it doesn't, folks will let me know and we'll go back to the drawing.
That never happened.
Anything else on this matter? John, campus safety update.
Sure, thank you. Announcement last week I sent out, you may recall that the Live Safe app has expired and it's no longer active. Have the Live Safe app, encourage you to complete it. We are now using exclusively the SDCCD Safe app, which is available in the App Store. In addition to, this is for our campus users, campus community, to send alerts, request an escort, to send an anonymous tip or have a friend follow them. Alerts will be pushed out through the Brave Alert system, which is controlled primarily through dispatch, my office as well, and our campus police. Please, if you have not, encourage your teams and or yourselves to update your contact information in PeopleSoft. We need cell phone, mobile numbers in order to receive those SMS alerts, those texts, and or we can receive email, but that information needs to be updated. One of the first alerts that went out, we discovered a lot of folks had their home number, maybe office number,
Or spouses.
or spouse. Yeah, so
Partners.
yeah. And so we've had a lot of folks. And then folks were adding their email. So I think we did a pretty good job of getting the message out and have folks update their contact information. The blue call light emergency boxes, that's a lot of names for that long lexicon, have been installed. One right outside the front here at the entrance, you may have seen it. And there's another one on the southeast corner of this building in the RC parking lot. They're both installed and functioning and have been tested. We are working on, this was we were trying to do this during PERF and COVID funds. And we've been kicking this can down the road for probably 2 years. Science hazmat storage. We are looking into, the district has been involved for the last year plus or so. And they are working on getting some quotes that we need that for OSHA licensing, accreditation, and to have this hazmat storage. We haven't revisited this in a while, but the district is moving forward, getting closer to placing that so that we can be compliant. Campus lighting, I have had several meetings with the mayor's office, with council member Steve Whitburn, a couple of times with the mayor's office, and they are escalating using parking meter funds on the streets where we have lights out around the campus, so they can designate those funds for emergency repairs from the meter for our lights. They heard us. We were burning the candles, multiple ends. Ricky had reached out to the mayor's office. District office reached out to the mayor's office. I was reaching out and finally they said, okay, we hear you. We'll listen to you. Had several meetings. They're looking to prioritize City College because this is throughout downtown. They ran out of funds. However, we have safety issues with our three high schools in Stones Throw, including our students, especially in the evening. So they prioritized us into the first quarter in March next month. So we'll continue to have those discussions of this exterior city, the city of San Diego, not City College. Would also encourage you to visit our health and safety website. And plenty of resources on there. Any presentation that we have had with links and updates on a regular basis. Thank you, Dina, for keeping that current. And we have the items from the health and safety committee also on there. My updates, unless there are any questions. That's it.
So a quick one, when you say update contact information, there's kind of two places. There's the contact information zone and then there's like an emergency contact area. Is it, where does that leave me?
The emergency contact. So there is a PDF on our website.
Okay.
And I'll send it out again. Another announcement that has a step-by-step on our internet. That's a good question because that.
It could be, it's just some of us, and I just have to get clarity on it.
Yeah, there's one section for emergency contacts for yourself, so if someone needs to contact, or if we need to contact somebody during an emergency, they'll go out, but then there's also your own contact where you put your own phone number where we would send you the information.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks.
So
It's
the radios
confusing.
go to your.
Yeah, I heard that happen to some people.
Yeah, it is
Last one, so I'm just trying to make sure I understand.
Yeah, good question.
People lost. Is there another? No, this is very serious and it is confusing. Sean, thank you for raising that. We continue to send out screenshots because without a screenshot, it's hard to explain to someone where to put this information, but it is very serious that folks log in, and that includes students, and the emergency contact information should be your cell phone. We got a test run of this in December, and about half the people didn't get their text messages, and so it's very important. Former app that we have, the LiveSafe app, where we could push out information. The current app doesn't do that. It'll go through the Rave system, and so we really do need people to take the time to log into PeopleSoft, to look at the screenshots and follow the instructions on the screenshots, because there is going to come a time when we're going to push out something that could be on fire, there could be a car accident. I mean, it's going to go out through that Rave system. Yes.
My understanding is it is possible to do it through, well, I've heard through FCCCD safe, but we're just not set up to do it that way. So like it might be possible.
I do not have that information. I'm slated to go through a training with the other presidents on both the Rave system and the SDCCD app. So I'm not knowledgeable about it.
We had a brief discussion at UPSS about it, and my understanding is, well, yes, there's capability. What makes it complicated is that if you use the SDCCD app, it goes to everyone in the district. So it would, because everybody's registered under it, right? So if something happened, I think you and I had this conversation in our meetings. So if something happens at Miramar, then we all want to be getting the report, and I think with the way that it's currently set up, that's how it would be, everybody would have to get involved.
Selena.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, I know you briefly mentioned when you came to visit, AW earlier this month regarding how Ray notifies students and staff about, ICE. Yes. So I was thinking if it notifies you when ICE is on campus, or would that be slipped in their campus as well?
Yes, that is the way that we send any notifications. Caesar is working on a document that we will have at the next college council that will dive a little deeper into that. But yes, that is the system in which we would send any notification out. Yes.
Sorry to tangent this, but will that document also include like best practices if for some reason ICE shows up at my classroom door?
Yes, it will.
Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking and I.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes. A lot of people.
I just want to say there's also been requests for the college to hold, trainings, by like one of the orgs that's doing trainings all over the community. So that people can actually practice and like be prepared. So we're gonna talk about that on Thursday. So hopefully we can have both options, like just some written materials. There's some, I've seen some flyers going out from different orgs, but also to have like a central training. Someone brought to my attention, like in case of emergency, just actually locking your door correctly. So that people can't get in, but students can get out. And it would be tricky if you're anxious and, under pressure, so.
Never done.
Yeah, and never done it, and so just, prompting people to like do these things to practice, just like when you learn CPR, you like have to practice it. I think it's good to have everyone, engaged in it.
Agreed, look forward to the discussion and you're spot on that there are community organizers who has taken this on and would welcome an opportunity to bring some on campus. We had a table talk with our supervisors and managers about 2 weeks ago. And let me say thank you and kudos to the managers and supervisors and those who came. It was draining, to be honest. Like this is not a good training. It's a highly emotional training, and we had a number of each group. I think we had 11 or so groups had a scenario, a very real scenario on how you would respond. And what we came out of that with is asking the managers to go back in their meetings with their teams and to do just what you're saying, to do walkthroughs with people. Having had to lead through something similar to this, you don't know how people are going to respond until you practice some of these things. It is also very emotional and draining. It takes a toll on you to even have a discussion. Even just right now having this discussion, but we owe it to our colleagues and our students to be prepared if this happens. Now, what I will also say, is I can appreciate that people want a definitive answer about how to do this or that. And unfortunately, that's not how life works, right? Things are organic. We are getting reports that we have to investigate and research, frankly, daily. And so I wish I could tell people definitive, do this, do this, do this, do this. But just look at our campus and the openness of it. Look at the fact that we're in downtown San Diego and there's a federal building just blocks away, right? So this is fluid, but I would love to have a training if we have an organization that we could bring on, and Caesar is working on a document. And I want to shout out our colleagues at the College of Continuing Education because they've done just that. And so we're borrowing from their document to make it ours, and it'll be placed on the next college council agenda. Mona, I hope to get you a copy of that when we meet on Thursday to Caesar. That's time. We can keep them out of meetings and his team have time to update it. Any other questions? John, update on Measure and Change project?
Sure, starting with student housing, now that the puddles have dried up after the rain. Those are not swimming pools and they're pretty large puddles.
I'm not tall enough to see. Oh, there's a camera.
Or you can stand at the top of the AH there, bro. That's fine. But there is a camera, a blue box camera that's trained right on the site to provide time lapse and there are lots of waves on there. Also, you can access it through our website, or district's website. They're finishing the leveling, the grading and the leveling. You may or may not have had the opportunity, but on the south end along B Street there is that's a historic, 100-year historic flood area, so we have to raise it up to at least 12 inches above the ground. It looks like closer to 20 inches or so. So they're leveling it off with the gravel to prepare for the pour for the foundation. Seville Theater, for Seville and A building expansion, just really one of the main, our constituents, our end users, our stakeholders and departments for working with the architects and OPMs, several iterations for our conceptual design. Great feedback, like we built this, okay, so they came with a shell or a template and we filled it in, we told them what we needed, what our desires and uses were to make it functional for us, and they heard us. We had to bear it down to budgets, of course, but we did a good job. It was our decision, not their decision. We were very satisfied with the conceptual. Now we're going into the schematic portion where they're starting to build in the trades and the specs of what we call buyouts for different trades that they're going to need. They're going to that part now. So they have the information that they need from us, but we'll continue to meet with end users, stakeholders as we get to conceptual design and just going forward until they actually break ground. Wanted to talk about athletics. I don't think there's an update from our last meeting. I think everything's still the same there. Transfer center is complete.
Do we have a move-in date?
They should be moved in, so I'll have to follow up with you on that. It's complete. The only thing actually that's missing is the new furniture for the conference / training flex space area that used to be the academic side classifieds offices on that south side of their building. But all the furniture, files, equipment have been moved in, so I'll find out what the holdup is if they're in. And that is it for Mr. Please visit our website. If in the interim you have any questions or just want to look at the specs or presentation, the schematic design, we have them on our website and or the district website with profile spec sheets. Any questions?
Yes.
I just wanted to say the experience for the Seville Theater has been great, and we have agreed on the concept and we brought it to Ricky, and I think you were happy with it too, and we'll bring it here to share with you all.
Yeah, and I want to say kudos to Andy and his leadership and the team over there. The Seville Theater is going to put City College on the map, not that we aren't already, but that main thoroughfare there. It's going to be a prominent fixture there, and you all will be very proud of what it looks like when it comes here. Andy, or that particular project will be the first of many that will come here. So you'll start seeing these projects coming, knowing that the user groups have signed off on it. Then it comes to me for any last tweaking, and then it goes back to the user group if there was any changes. These will begin starting to roll out here. Keep in mind though, when they roll out here, the design has been approved by the departments and the programs, right? Now, certainly if you see something that we need to be aware of, we can go back. Along those lines, Marciano is leading an effort because we've been getting a number of questions about the student housing to put together a user group that will pretty much see what the final project looks like. There'll be able to be some tweaks with like paint colors and what else?
Texture.
Yes.
Texture, carpet.
The
The design is
stuff.
done.
And so, the tricky thing for me about this that I'm learning is that since these projects take 2 or 3 years, that the group of people who you design it with may or may not be here by the time they come. And then people are like, well, who made all these decisions? And so know that there's a group of people who goes through the either constituency process or because they are in these buildings who are deciding these things. So you will start to see the final decisions coming shortly, beginning with the Seville Theater Sean, I don't know if you have an update on the design space.
So we finished the process with the architects, so they're now working on. John probably knows, like all the behind the scenes part of specking out electrical and all the changes that need to happen. So I think we're in a holding pattern waiting to finish that discovery process. Hopefully get a number, because that's the one thing I haven't heard is how much it'll cost.
Yeah, and so Andy, I'll need your help there too, because I should see what that looks like if there have been any changes, and then we want to bring that here again as well. The library is in the beginning stages of trying to have one plan for the entire library, right? We know that Marco and the team did a great job on the PLC, but now there's a need to bring the first floor, second floor, and third floor together for one design. So we'll be working on that over the course of this semester, and probably we'll bring that forth either during fall convocation or the fall at some point to College Council. Any questions? These will be standing items on this agenda so that people get updates. Any questions about any of these items? Hearing none, invite you to join us on Monday from 2:30 to 4 p.m. in MS 162 for the Spring Chancellor's Forum. It's a great opportunity to hear from our chancellor, see what's going on in our district, and ask him questions about anything that you would like to do so. Moving on, want to formally, Tia, congratulate Dr. John Parker on his departure. This is his last College Council meeting, and I happen to have a couple of colleagues who work at other colleges, so I couldn't send him away without. It's not red, it's not City College, but we're leaving him with some departing gifts from Fullerton College and Cypress College, where are part of the North Orange Community College. Just give Dr. Parker. No, I didn't.
We'll see each other in the playoffs.
And actually, he's not joking about that. I'll use this as an opportunity to congratulate Coach Mitch Charlins. The basketball team won our league, our conference. He won Coach of the Year. One of our basketball players won Player of the Year. And our rivals in basketball wind up being Fullerton College. Matter of fact, they've only lost one game, and they're the #1 seed in the southern section. City College is the 5th seed in the southern section, and we will see you at Fullerton College or somewhere along the way.
I'm a city servant. No, thank you all. It's just been wonderful for all of your input, your support. You have helped inform mine and shape my development here for my next chapter. You'll see me around at certain events here and there. City's in my heart. We have how many people? 30, 40 plus years. I understand why. But he calls. So thank you guys.
Congratulations. So very happy. Speaking of being happy, ecstatic in that, we have a new doctor in the house. Congratulations to Dr. Tilly Chavez and completing. Before I put it over to her, to say a few words, I just want to say something that was funny to me. I don't know that others thought it was funny, but many of us were on the Zoom where she defended her dissertation, and she got drilled. Like they were asking, I was going to jump in and say, "Look, y'all just give her the degree." But I was on vacation last week at Lake Shasta, and anybody who tracks the weather, it was snowing, like 4 or 5 inches of snow every day, 4 days while I was up at Lake Shasta. So I'm on this Zoom on a part of the lake trying to make sure I had cell phone service in my full rain gear, and I purposely had my camera turned off. And all of a sudden I looked at it and I was on the camera, like a snowflake hit my phone and turned on the camera. And I've got City College behind me, but if you know what a rain suit is, like I'm in full blown rain suit. And I see Tilly like, "Ricky, are you okay? I think he's fishing." So I'm trying to not distract her from the dissertation defense. But we are so proud of you, Tilly, that you got through the finish line. Anything you want to share about the experience?
But I'm grateful it's over. But probably I was looking back and I started writing this portion in February of 24. So it's taken me till this time to finish, but really the work that I've been doing is the work that we've been doing here on the campus, and really hope to share that a little bit more. My topic was identifying the professional development for California Community College deans. And so we did that. We identified what it is, and now I have a plan of what to do with that. So it's been an experience, and I'll just say that I know Ricky and I had a conversation the other day when they were grilling me, and I thought about saying something, but I also went back to my old roots and said, what's the hoop I have to get through to just complete? Because these are the three gentlemen that are going to say yes or no. So I just said, I shall comply.
You know, and her study is so appropriate, and I loved being able to see her talk about things that she's actually doing, right? And Tilly has done an amazing job providing mentorship to our deans, onboarding for our deans. And so to hear the theory and the research behind it really showed your scholarly aptitude. So congratulations. Yeah, I remember getting my doctorate when I was a director, in fact, and the then president, Thomas Fallow of El Camino College, said, I'd like to introduce Dr. Ricky Shabazz. I'm going to call you doctor all day today, and tomorrow you're going back to being Ricky.
Okay, so yeah.
But no, congratulations to Tilly. We have one last update that I'm gonna turn over to Marciano.
So this coming Thursday at 11 a.m. in room T220, we have the soft opening of our new Black Resource Center. So Dr. Jocelyn Hill has been helping to kind of coordinate our efforts in getting this space opened. I want to publicly thank Roxanne and her team for coming in and helping save the day, and so that we can actually have an opening on Thursday. But our hope is that on Thursday, folks will come by at between 11 and 1 to T220 to look at the new space and to be. We're going to do a soft opening. We'll have one of our board of trustees is going to be there, our chancellor, and we're going to have some folks do some work there. So the students are going to speak, and then we're going to have some little treats and follow the day. We hope you can join us.
Looks like we have some.
Any
Just visit.
Any other updates for the good of the org? Any other updates? Yes.
Maybe it could be a potential agenda item for this group, and I don't know where it would live, but you've mentioned with the student equity funding and looking at returning to whatever groups are demonstrating need and kind of reallocating, coming up with a process. Is that something that College Council could help lead, or what groups on campus would be part of that process?
So here's the challenge, Marco, when you start talking about coming up with a process. Watch this. How many in here need resources? Right. And so what we did is we know the programs who lost revenue, right? So we're trying to restore. This is not new revenue. We're trying to restore people who lost the 400,000. We know because we manage the budget. So that's where this gets tricky. There's already an ideas council that allocates the funding through student equity, right? So we can already show which programs lost revenue as a result of having $400,000 less. So there really is already a list, because we know who already lost the revenue. If we open this up to the entire campus, then those who already lost revenue are likely to lose even more.
I was just referencing in the plan itself, it names specific groups of the funding support. Maybe professional learning is one of them.
Yes.
We lost funding.
Yeah.
And so I was just curious if this is an opportunity for us to review what that process is, so it's more transparent, it comes to this college council, like, these are the programs, this is the process on how those resources were allocated, so when people ask, you can say, well, here was the plan, and this was the process we went through for allocating resources based on.
Yeah, so let me be clear, that already happened. Right, so that, if you want, we can send you the meeting agenda and the notes, so it will come to college council. Right, and so I get a little interesting when I hear the word transparency, right? Respectfully. What we're proposing is to give money back to people who lost it. So it's already in the plan who's getting the money. What happened though is that between the time the plan was written and we lost the revenue, those people didn't get the money that they were promised. So we're trying to deliver frankly on a promise that was part of the site. But what if I could do a friendly amendment to what you're offering, we can certainly bring back the plan and look at the allocations and talk about who lost the revenue and who we would like to restore. But it would actually do a disservice to open it back up to the campus when there's a group of people who already aren't getting what we told them we were gonna give.
And I wasn't suggesting opening it to campus.
And if I could come in, so the previous equity plan finished at the end of this fiscal year, about for 3 years, it's posted in the website. The new plan that got approved this year as part of the writing is also published in the website. So anybody who is interested in the SIA funding, the most important thing to do is to go to our campus websites. If you put like student equity and achievement, it's mandated by the state when we receive funding that these documents are published. And it's true, there is particular entities that are named already as part of the plan. And so I think like these discussions are super productive. If there is questions and concerns, since I'm the person who has been overseeing this funding for the last year, I'm happy to address those, but let's just start with the same baseline, which is like getting to the original plan, who I didn't came up. It was come to all the governance units who helped writing it. And again, before we got any funding, it had to go, to the state to be approved, and nothing has changed. It has been published as a PDF. If you have any challenges accessing it, feel free to email me and I'll send it to you, both the old plan and the new plan. And then we can do that.
So thank you, Claudia. And also, Marco, if you would like to bring it back to college council as an agenda item, you can work with my office and we certainly can do it. And thank you, Claudia, you're spot on. That's why you're over the area. To say that plan is available on the website and you can see the allocations. And when we get to a place, because we have not made a decision, right? Let me be clear about that. We have not made a decision. There's still groups who need to be engaged. I haven't been to the Ideas Council. There's still groups who need to be engaged. Once all of the discussions and shared governance has taken its place, the allocations that are being proposed will come to college council. Absolutely. I've already shared a draft of it with the academic senate and other folks. So it's going through the process now. Any other questions? Hearing none, we will see you all in 2 weeks. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, everybody.
John Parker's left.
This is John Parker's last college council.